Hello there, everyone. This is Ocean Jedi Master, and I'm ready for the finale breakdown of Ahsoka. So, here we go. Spoiler warning here. If you haven't watched it, click off now, go watch it, or if you don't care, continue on. I'm only doing things things that I've witnessed or got out of it. So yeah, first off, Thrawn references his defeat from Ezra from the season 4 finale of Rebels when he says, "Even I have been defeated by the heroics of a Jedi." And then the ritual they did with Morgan Ellis with Ritual of Shadows, the dialogue they use is the same dialogue used in Clone Wars season 4 for Ventress's baptism. It's the same words that Mother Talzin said. It's kind of different with what they do to her, but the words are the same. On top of that, the sword of Talzin that they gave, or blade of Talzin, whatever, it took me a while, but then I remembered this is most likely the same blade that Talzin used when she fought against Mace Windu in season 6 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's also a reference to Mother Talzin on top of that. The lightsaber Ezra makes is the same design made by Kanan Jarrus. The question is, where did he get the Kyber crystal? Like, did Thrawn somehow get his hands on Kanan's lightsaber and Ezra before he took the crystal from that? Or did Huyang just have Kyber crystals lying around in that ship? Yeah, I don't know about that, and I want to know. Because where? How? Why? Okay, not why, because it's good to have Ezra have a lightsaber again. But how did he get a Kyber crystal? Not to make a blame that he now has basically a remake of his master's lightsaber. Awesome. Ezra's reaction and interactions with Huyang are kind of hilarious, though. Be like, yeah, I don't have time for lessons. How long have you been around? It's kind of hilarious with those two interacting. Ezra now finds out about what happens to Sabine's family, which is, I'm still not over the fact that they died off screen. Seriously, I get those three were side characters, but come on! Why do we get off-screen deaths for them? But, on the bright side, we now have a much more accurate time frame for when the Purge of Mandalore happened. Because Huyang says at the end of the war, which means the end of the war would be 4 ABY, which is the year Return of the Jedi takes place, to 5 ABY, which is the Battle of Jakku, which ended the Galactic Civil War. So, around that time point is when it happened. That's my estimate. Much better estimate. They said something, we got a much better estimate for some of this stuff. As well as clues of what it's been going on to some of these characters. Ahsoka references her decision to leave the Jedi Order with her having to make difficult decisions and only her master being the one to understand them. When Sabine says, "I try," but then fixes it to "I do," is a reference to season 3 episode called Trials of the Darksaber, where Ezra corrects her of saying, "There is no try, just do." Which is something he got from Kanan in season 1 of Rebels in the episode called Rise of the Old Masters. And he got that one from Yoda's line of, "No, try not, do, or do not, there is no try." The T-16 shuttle that's been used is apparently older than Ahsoka, which, with her saying, "You've been keeping that thing in the air longer than I've been alive." Okay, yes, Huyang is really old. But the thing is, he's the one that's in charge of the Crucible, which is the ship that we saw in season 5 of Clone Wars that takes younglings for the gathering to get their Kyber crystals. So, that T6 didn't show me. Was another ship he was keeping in the air, doing repairs in his free time? I don't know. The witches, thanks to what Ezra said, seemed to have been in slumber before Thrawn came with Ezra. Thrawn is right about Ahsoka not doing negotiations. Unless, because it's a reference to Anakin and Ahsoka's habit of doing aggressive negotiations, aka negotiations with a lightsaber. Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra do a sword and shield maneuver when they first get into the catacomb area, when the stormtroopers just charge in and when they first enter. Now, this is a maneuver that Ezra did with Kanan and Rex in Season 3, Episode The Last Battle. This was mainly used during the Clone Wars era. Basically, you would have 2 Jedi having the lightsabers, and they would block bolts while there's usually like 1 or 2 soldiers in the middle, throwing detonators or shooting blasters for cover. Effective. The Night Sisters revived the dead Night Troopers. Now, this same thing has happened twice, 2 times before this instance. So this is the 3rd time we've seen this happen in the Star Wars canon. First time, Season 4 of Clone Wars, the same episode with the Ventress's Baptism, where Melotazen revives the dead Night Sisters, they attack battle droids, they go back into subway. Then Marion would do the same thing years later in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And Ezra seems to be a bit rusty with his lightsaber skills. Understandable. He hasn't had a lightsaber for about a decade at this point. And I don't know if I'm just reading things wrong, but Caesar, though, when Ezra said, "I miss you," I don't know if he was talking to Ahsoka or Sabine. If he's talking to Sabine, I think Ezra's back to flirting with Sabine, and that makes me happy. Morgan's true loyalty lies with Dathomir, with her line saying, "For Dathomir." Undead Death Troopers, the 2 Death Troopers that are on the top floor, where blocking their way to the Star Destroyer. Ezra speeds way to the Star Destroyer. I believe, my sources quickly, Ezra killed at least 1 Death Trooper in the finale of Season 4 on the Chimera. So it's safe to say they probably killed 2 more when he escaped. Most likely, because Death Troopers are supposed to be elite, so I don't see them dying any other way. Sabine's finally unlocking her true Force abilities, because she was able to use the Force, using Force to get her lightsaber and kill one of the guards again. Now, the move that Ezra and Sabine do to get onto the Chimera is actually the same move that was used throughout Rebels by Ezra and Kanan. Same way, except that usually they both get onto the part that they're getting onto, but still works, and that's a good reference. Sabine sees to help Ahsoka, and honestly, there's not much to put there. Ahsoka loses one of her lightsabers, and it's actually her Shoto blade, which is the one with the longer blade. Thrawn reveals how he bested Ahsoka because of her knowledge of how her master works. And unfortunately, Ahsoka, Sabine, Huyang are trapped on Peridia with Balin and Shin. I hope that Ahsoka, Sabine, and Huyang get out of there somehow. The bird we hear is Morai. There's no doubt about it. I recognize that squawking from anywhere. And the fact that it's there with Ahsoka, and the way Ahsoka looks at it, it's Morai, who is actually the reincarnation of the daughter, who is the representation of the light side of the Force. She sacrificed the daughter in Season 3 of the Clone Wars Mortis arc, sacrificed the last of her life essence essence to save Ahsoka's life. So basically, the Moai just follows Ahsoka around now. Shin seems to be taking control over the bandits that we saw in the previous 2 episodes. And the statue Balin is on, the one that Balin is on itself, is actually the father, who is one of the other Mortis gods, little G, by the way. He represents the balance. And the one that's next to it is the sun, who represents the dark side of the Force. And interesting, there's a space to the right of the... If we're looking at the TV, like, as we're looking at the TV, if we look to the left, there's a space missing. I think that's where the daughter's statue is supposed to be, but it looks like it's gotten destroyed. And I know those are representing the father and son, because I recognize the hat the father is wearing. I recognize the beard, and the son looks deadly similar. It is exact. This also makes the connection that Abeloth, aka the mother, is the one calling to Balin. It's most likely that. Honestly, it most likely is. And Thrawn going to Dathomir probably means that they are reviving whatever is in those caskets that they've been loading up. Ezra escapes by pulling a classic rebel move by disguising himself as a stormtrooper and escaping that way. He also has now gotten a new helmet for his collection. Yeah, Ezra has a helmet collection. He has collected these things in the past. He also reunites with Hera and Chopper, and Chopper knew exactly as soon as... I don't know how Chopper knew. I mean, I didn't know until Chopper rushed over that I realized, oh my gosh, listen, that's Ezra. Oh gosh. I think it's because he recognized the body movements or something. But yeah, smart droid. And all the other rebels, except for Hera, are like, what the heck? What on earth? The Jedi is alive. Like they'd never seen Ezra before. And then in the final moments, we get to see the Force Ghost of Anakin Skywalker. That is a good way to end this season. And I cannot wait to see what happens next. Something tells me that Ezra is gonna yell at Ziono for his stupidity. Because Ziono's stupidity is about to bite him in the butt. Big time. I cannot wait to see that backfire. Anyways, that is all. Good series. I can't wait to see what happens. I wish, though, that Ahsoka and Sabine were able to catch up with Ezra. That they were able to get over there. But I may not see that for the movie or the second season. I hope to see interactions between Ezra and Jason, though. And I wish we got to see a hug between Ezra and Hera. But it's good to see that the psychopath still has a heart. The psychopath known as Chopper still has a heart. Bye!